Hello friends, in this video I'm going to discuss the concept of limit of a sequence or convergent sequences. Now, before giving you the definition of limit of a sequence, let us consider the graphs of some sequences. First, we consider the sequence with nth term 1 by n. Its term will be 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3 and so on. Now, graph of this sequence is when we have n is 1, value is 1. When n is 2, 1 by 2 is 0.5. At 3, 1 by 3, 0.33. At 4, 0.25. And so on. Graph is like this. Okay, now from the graph we see that as n increases, the terms or points, the points move towards 0. First it was 1, then 0.5, then it is 0.33, then 0.25. Means it is as n increases, the points are moving towards 0. Okay. Same way, when we consider the graph of the sequence minus 1 power n, the terms are minus 1, 1, minus 1, 1. On plotting the graph is like this. Means the graph is that points oscillate between 1 and minus 1. We can say like this. On plotting the graph, the terms or points oscillate between minus 1 and 1. I can say like this. Okay. Graph is like this of the sequence minus 1 power n. Okay. Now, third, we consider the sequence with nth term as n. Means terms are 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. On plotting the graph is like this. Means as n increases, an also increases. Okay. They are not tending to any finite value. Okay. As n increases, an also increases. Clear? Now, if I consider the graph of the sequence minus 1 power n divided by n, then terms are minus 1, that is minus 1 only, 1 by 2 that is 0.5, minus 1 by 3 that is minus 0.33, 1 by 4 that is 0.25. Means on plotting the graph is like this, and we see as n increases, the points of the sequences move towards 0. Okay, as n increases, I can write as n increases, points move towards 0. Okay, as n increases, the points move towards 0. They are tending to 0. Okay, means in the first graph, this, when the sequence was 1 by n, here also as n increases, points move towards 0, but not in the second and in the third. In the second graph, points oscillate between minus 1 and 1, and in the third graph, as n increases, an increases. But in the fourth graph also, as n increases, points move towards 0. Okay. Means the in first and fourth cases, the term of the sequence are moving towards a finite value, say 0 here. Okay, in the first and fourth graph, 1 by n and minus 1 power n by n. Okay, the points are moving towards a finite value or the fixed value. Okay, now we are going to discuss these types of sequences. Clear? Again, we consider the sequence n by n plus 1. Then terms of the sequences are 1 by 2, 2 by 3, 3 by 4, 4 by 5, 5 by 6. Okay, means here we have the sequence is like this: 0.5, 0.67, 0.75. Means as n increases, the points move towards some numbers. Here the number is 1. Since n plus 1 is greater than n. Okay, therefore n by n plus 1 will be less than 1. Therefore, value will be less than 1. They tends to 1, but it never be greater than 1. Okay, since here the nth term is n by n plus 1. the sequence will tend to 1. Okay, here first term was 0.5, then gradually it is moving towards 1. 0.9 means it is gradually moving towards the number 1, but at no point it will be more than 1, since here n by n plus 1 is less than 1. Okay, now if we plot the graph of the sequence, first take L to be 1 and epsilon to be 0.35. Okay, we will be plotting the graph of the sequence with epsilon as 0.35 and one graph with epsilon as 0.1. Clear? Now, when we take L is equal to 1 and epsilon is 0.35, then L minus epsilon will be 0.65 and L plus epsilon will be 1.35. Okay, now draw a line as L is equal to 1 and L minus epsilon, that is 0.65 and then 1.35. Now on plotting the points on the graph, we have here, we see when we have 1 here, then 0.5, then when n is 2 we have 0.67, somewhere here 0.67, then next is 0.75, next is 0.75, and same way we can plot the graph. Okay, now here we see that when L is 1 and epsilon is 0.35, then from second term we see that from second term onwards all the points lie within this L minus epsilon and N plus epsilon from second term onwards. When we take epsilon to be 0.35, from second term onwards, all points of the sequences lie within the strip around L is equal to 1, L minus epsilon and L plus epsilon, and here we have taken epsilon to be 0.35. Okay, here M is 2. Let we denote this term M be 2. From second term onwards, all the points lie within this strip. And same way, if I take L to be 1 again, since it is standing to 1, and epsilon we are taking here as 0.1. Then L minus epsilon will be 0.9 and L plus epsilon will be 1.1. Then we see here on plotting the graph, we have the strip 0.9, 1.1. Then here we see that from 9th term onwards, the terms of the sequences lie within the strip. Okay, means here we have from 9th term onwards. Means here we have taken M to be 9. Okay, here M is 9. Okay, when we have taken epsilon to be 0.1, then M is 9. This value of M will depend on epsilon. Okay, when epsilon was 0.35, M was 2. Okay, and when epsilon is 0.1, this M is 9. Okay, means from these two graphs, we observe that as n increases, AN tends to 1. Okay, here also, as n increases, the sequence tend to a finite number, say L, and here L is 1. Clear? This is first point. Second, if we lay one strip around the line representing L, here L is 1, then all ANs except the first few. Here first term was left out and here 8 terms are left out in the second. In here 8 terms are left out and here 1 term is left out. Okay, means if we lay one strip around the line representing L, then all AN except the first few, means all AN for n greater than or equal to M. If this is our M, all ANs except n greater than or equal to M, all AN for n greater than or equal to M will lie within the strip. It is clear. Okay, here m is 2, here m is 9. Clear? And also we note that thinner the strip, the value of m will be larger. Thinner the strip, bigger is the value of m. Here we have epsilon is 0.35. Okay, then m was 2 here, but here we have taken epsilon to be 0.1, less than 0.35. Here m is 9. Means thinner the strip, larger is the value of m. These 3 points we note from these two graphs. Okay. Means what? From this graph, we see that as n increases, an tend to one fixed number, say L. Here L is 1. Okay, in this particular sequence, n by n plus 1, L is 1. Second point, we note that if we lay one strip around the line representing L, all ans except the first few. In the first graph, when L was 1 and epsilon was 0.35, first point was left out. And in the second graph, when we have taken epsilon to be 0.1, 8 points are left out. All ans except the first few. That is, all ans for n greater than or equal to m. In the first graph, m was 2, and in the second graph, m was 9. Okay, all ans for n greater than or equal to m lie within the strip. Second point. And third, thinner the strip, bigger is the value of m. Okay, these 3 points we have obtained from those two graphs. Okay, now such a number L is called the limit of the sequence, and if limit exists, then we say sequence is convergent sequence or sequence converges. Okay, this is the meaning of convergent sequences. Clear? Now we come to the formal definition of the convergence. A sequence an is said to converge to or tend to a real number L if given epsilon positive, however small. We have taken 0.35, we have taken 0.1. However small, there exists a positive integer m, which depends on epsilon. We have seen here also, when epsilon was 0.35, value of m was 2, and when epsilon was 0.1, value of m was 9. Means value of m, there exists positive integer m, which depends on epsilon, such that mod an minus L is less than epsilon for all n greater than or equal to m. Means all the terms of the sequence lies within L minus epsilon, L plus epsilon. The strip we have made around L is around the point L. Okay, an minus L, mod an minus L is less than epsilon for all n greater than or equal to m. This is the definition or the meaning of converge to or tend to a real number L. Clear? The real number L is called the limit of the sequence. Okay, this number L is called the limit of the sequence an, and we write this as limit n tending to infinity, an is equal to L. This is the notation. Clear? Now we come to a theorem, very important theorem. Every convergent sequence has a unique limit point. If a sequence converges, then the limit point will be unique, or a sequence cannot converge to more than one limit. Okay, now let us prove this theorem. Let if possible, sequence an converge to two distinct real numbers L and L dash. Now since L and L dash are distinct, L is not equal to L dash, mod L minus L dash will be positive. Okay, since L is not equal to L dash, they are distinct real numbers, then mod L minus L dash will be positive. Now let epsilon be 1 by 2 into mod L minus L dash, then it will be positive. Clear? Now we will use the definition of convergence. Now the sequence AN converges to L. Therefore, given epsilon positive, there exists a positive integer, say m1, such that mod an minus L is less than epsilon by 2 for all n greater than or equal to m1. Clear? Okay. This by definition. Also, since sequence converges to L dash. Again, since sequence converges to L dash, we have also the sequence AN converges to L dash. Therefore, by definition, given epsilon positive, there exists a positive integer, say m2, such that mod an minus L dash is less than epsilon by 2 for all n greater than or equal to m2. This again by definition. Okay, now let m be maximum of m1 and m2. Okay, let m be maximum of m1 and m2. Then we have an minus L is less than epsilon by 2 for all n greater than or equal to m, and an minus L dash is less than epsilon by 2 for all n greater than or equal to m. Okay. Mark this as 1. Since here we have taken m to be maximum, so this holds for m also. Okay. Now we consider mod L minus L dash. Now adding and subtracting an. L minus an plus an minus L dash. Adding and subtracting an. Now this by triangular inequality will be less than or equal to L minus an mod L minus an plus mod an minus L dash. Clear? Now this is equal to mod an minus L plus mod an minus L dash, since mod minus x is same as mod x. Clear? Now this is less than epsilon by 2 plus epsilon by 2 for all n greater than or equal to m, using 1, that is epsilon, that is we have mod L minus L dash is strictly less than epsilon for all n greater than or equal to m. Okay. Now it is a contradiction to our assumption. Which is a contradiction to our assumption. Since we have taken epsilon to be 1 by 2 into L minus L dash, and here we are getting L minus L dash. Mod L minus L dash is less than epsilon, but epsilon value is 1 by 2 into mod L minus L dash. So these two contradict each other. Okay, therefore our assumption is wrong. And hence L is equal to L dash. Clear? Means we have a unique limit. If a sequence converges, then it will converge to a unique limit point. Clear? Now next is divergent sequences. A sequence AN is said to diverge to plus infinity if given any positive real number k, however larger there exists a positive integer m which depends on k such that an is greater than k. An is greater than k for all n greater than or equal to m. Here we write limit n tending to infinity, an is equal to infinity. Means a sequence an is said to diverge to plus infinity if given any positive real number k, however larger, there exists positive integer m depending on k such that an is greater than k. Let us understand this with the help of example. Now consider the sequence with nth term n square. Then terms of the sequence will be 1, 4, 9, 16 and so on. Okay. Now if first I take k to be 10 here. Okay. Now let us plot this graph. Now draw a line along 10. K is equal to 10. Okay. Now first term is when n is 1, n square is 1. Okay. Now on plotting the graph, we have like this. When n is 2, we have 4. When n is 3, we have 9. And when n is 4, we have 16, which is somewhere here. Okay. When n is 5, we have 25. N square is 25. Okay. Means when we have taken k to be 10, then from fourth term onwards, here m will be 4. Okay, when we have taken k to be 10, this is the definition. If given any positive real number k, however larger, we have here first taken k to be 10. Okay, then there exists positive integer m. Here m is 4. Means from m terms onwards, for all n greater than or equal to m, we have an is greater than k. Here, when we have taken k to be 10, then from fourth term onwards, since for n is equal to 4, n square is 16, which is more than 10. 16 is more than 10, and after fourth term onwards, including fourth term also, all terms are greater than k, an is greater than k. Okay, means for here I can say from fourth term onwards. Okay, and here m is 4. Clear? When we have taken k is 10 here. Okay, same way now we will draw or plot the graph for k is equal to 50. Okay, now we have taken k to be 50. Now let us again plot the graph. Now we have k is equal to 50. Now when we have n is 1, we have 1. Okay, when n is 2, we have 4, then 3, then 9, then 4, 16, then 5, 25, then when 6, it is 36, 6 square, when 7, it is 49, okay, then when 8, it is 64, okay, 8 square, that is 64, then here we have 60, then 64 will be somewhere here. Okay, means from 8th term onwards, points of the or terms of the sequence will be more than k. Okay, here from 8th term, onwards. Okay, means here m is 8. Okay, when we have taken k is equal to 50, then m will be 8. And when we have taken k is equal to 10, m was 4. Okay, this m depends on k. Clear? From 8th term onwards, we have an is greater than k. Clear? This is the definition of diverges to plus infinity. Clear? Next is diverges to minus infinity. Next definition. A sequence an is said to diverge to minus infinity if given any positive real number k, however large, there exists a positive integer m which again depends on k, such that an is less than minus k. An is less than minus k for all n greater than or equal to m. And in this case, we write limit n tending to infinity, an is equal to minus infinity, or we can also say an tends to minus infinity as n tends to infinity. This is the meaning of a sequence diverges to minus infinity. Again, we consider the example and we'll plot the graph. Okay. Now, consider the sequence minus 2n. Then terms will be minus 2, minus 4, minus 6, minus 8. Okay. Now, let us take k to be 8. Let us take k to be 8 here. Okay. Now, let us plot the graph first. Now, when n is 1, first term is minus 2. When 2, we have 4, minus 4. Then when 3, it is minus 6. When 4, it is minus 8. Okay. Means from 4, by definition, we must have an is less than minus k here. An is less than minus k. Okay. When k is 8, on fourth term, we have minus 8 here. Okay. Now, from fifth term, when n is 5, we have minus 10. Okay. Then 6, minus 12. Then minus 14 and so on. Okay. So, I can say from fifth term onwards, an is less than minus 8. For all n greater than or equal to 5, I can say like this. Here m is 5. Okay. From fifth term onwards, all n's are less than minus 8. Here we have taken k to be 8. Clear? This is the meaning of diverges to minus infinity. An is less than minus 8. Here k is 8 for every n greater than or equal to 5. And m here is 5. Since here from fifth term onwards. Fifth term 6, 7 and so on. From fifth term onwards, we have this inequality. An is less than minus 8. Clear? This is the meaning of diverges to minus infinity. Clear? Next we have the next definition is divergent sequence. A sequence an is said to be a divergent sequence if it diverges to plus infinity or minus infinity. A sequence is divergent sequences if it diverges to plus infinity or minus infinity. And we write like this: an tends to plus infinity or an tends to minus infinity. Clear? Okay. Next we have, next is oscillatory sequence. Oscillatory sequences. Next definition. Now, if a sequence an neither converges to a finite number nor diverges to plus infinity or minus infinity. Means if we have a sequence which neither converges to finite number, nor diverges to plus infinity or minus infinity. We may have a sequence like which neither converges to a finite number nor diverges to plus infinity or minus infinity. That type of sequence is called as oscillatory sequence. It is called an oscillatory sequences. Clear? If it neither converges to finite number nor diverges to plus infinity nor diverges to minus infinity. That type of sequences is known as oscillatory sequences. We have two types of oscillatory sequences. Oscillatory sequences are of two types. First is a bounded sequence. A bounded sequence which does not converge. A bounded sequence which does not converge means we have a bounded sequence is called oscillate finitely. A bounded sequence which does not converge is said to oscillate finitely. Okay, this is first type of oscillatory sequence, which is bounded sequence but does not converge. Okay, we have 2 points here. First is sequence should be bounded, and second, it does not converge. Then that sequence is said to oscillate finitely. Okay, let us consider the sequence. Consider the sequence with nth term as minus 1n. Okay, then here an is minus 1 power n, then terms will be minus 1, 1, minus 1, 1. It is bounded. Okay. It is bounded by minus 1 and 1. It is bounded as minus 1 less than equal to a n less than equal to 1 for all n belonging to n, natural number. Okay, therefore it is bounded. Now limit n tending to infinity a to n is limit n tending to infinity minus 1 power 2n, that is 1. Okay, positive 1, and limit n tending to infinity a to n plus 1. Okay, then it will be limit n tending to infinity minus 1 power 2n plus 1 odd power, that is limit will be minus 1. Limit exists but are unequal. Okay, therefore limit does not exist. Okay, two limits exist but are unequal, therefore we can say limit n tending to infinity a n does not exist. Therefore the sequence does not converge but it is bounded, therefore we say it oscillates finitely. Okay, hence the sequence oscillates finitely. Clear? It is bounded but does not converge. Sequence is bounded but does not converge. Therefore, sequence oscillate finitely. Clear? Next we have an unbounded sequence. An unbounded sequence which does not diverge is said to oscillate infinitely. Here we have unbounded sequence which does not diverge. Okay, an unbounded sequence which does not diverge is said to oscillate infinitely. This is second type of oscillatory sequences. Okay, now we consider the example here. Consider the sequence. Minus 1 power n into n. Then here an will be minus 1 power n into n. Now terms will be like this. Minus 1, then 2, then minus 3, then 4, then minus 5, then 6 and so on. These are the terms of the sequence. And it is clear that sequence is not bounded. Okay, it is neither bounded below nor bounded above. Okay, this means it is an unbounded sequence. It is clear. Now we will check the limit. Okay, now limit n tending to infinity a to n will be limit n tending to infinity minus 1 power 2n into 2n. Now this will be positive, so here we will have infinity. Okay, now limit n tending to infinity a to n plus 1 will be limit n tending to infinity minus 1 power 2n plus 1 into 2n plus 1. This will be minus 1 and limit will be minus infinity. Okay, now since both limits are unequal, therefore sequence does not diverge. Clear? Now sequence does not diverge and it is an unbounded sequence also. Therefore we can say sequence oscillate infinitely. Clear? Sequence oscillate infinitely if it is unbounded and also does not diverge. Then in that case sequence is said to oscillate infinitely. Okay, clear? Next we have null sequence. A sequence an is said to be a null sequence if it converges to 0, means if it has limit as 0. If limit n tending to infinity an is equal to 0, then in that case we say the sequence is null sequence if its limit is 0. Okay, if it converges to 0. For example, the sequence is 1 by n, 1 by n square. All these are the examples of null sequences. We have many of such examples of null sequences whose limit is 0 or which converges to 0 is said to be a null sequence. Clear? Okay. Clear? Now that's it for this video. If you have any queries or any suggestions, please write to me in comment box. Thank you.